Hey, this is John with FLO. In this video, we're going to walk you through installing tubeless rim tape for either a tube or tubeless tire installation. All FLO wheels ship with a tubeless compatible rim tape. What we recommend is that your rim tape is 2 millimeters wider than the internal rim width of your wheel. What that means is the distance between the two hooks of your rim, you want your rim tape to be about 2 millimeters wider. The rim tape that you're going to get with your FLO wheel already does that, but if you are having to replace your rim tape, then you will want to make sure it's about 2 millimeters wider. To install a tubeless compatible rim tape like this, it can be used with either a tube or a tubeless setup, and the tools we like to use to set it up are a tire lever, which we'll show you how to use in a little bit to help with the installation, and just an X-Acto knife to make sure we can cut a hole for the valve to go through. So, to install a tubeless compatible rim tape, the first thing we do is we find the valve hole where your tubeless valve is going to go, or the tube for your tire, and we start our installation opposite of that, so 180 degrees away. What that does is it allows us to keep the gap in the initial start here so that we are going to prevent as much air loss as possible and create a tight seal. So to start this off, peel back the tape. Once you have it peeled back, you want to take this here and you place it between the brake tracks, make sure it's good and centered. And what we're going to want to do is make sure that we are pulling the tape tight. So it's like as if you are stretching it on. Now, as you stretch it on, you want to make sure that you are working any air bubbles out of the middle piece of the tape. Now, you are going to have a section on the rim here where there is a lip that raises up. Don't worry about the air there. I'll show you a trick for getting that out in a minute. But you just want to make sure that you don't have any air bubbles. If I lay this down without stretching it, you can see here that you're going to have a bunch of air bubbles. That's not going to be good for keeping a good tight seal. So what we do is we stretch it tight, make sure to work our way around. One thing that we also want to do as well is we want to go around with 2 wraps of tape. That helps do a couple things. The first thing is it helps create a good seal. And the second thing is it also helps with the beads of the tire to seal really well within the hooks. And it also allows us to use a pump for installation versus a compressor. So we will go around and do this installation. Pull it tight. You have to pick it back up if you have a section where you get a small air bubble, it's no problem. Once you've made your second wrap around, you'll be back opposite the valve stem. And you can take an X-Acto knife and you can puncture the tape, just cut it. And once you have it cut, you can lay down that final piece. You'll have a bit of extra if you ever need to do another round. Once the tape is laid down, you have no air bubbles. One thing that we like to do is make sure that you also don't have any air bubbles where the bead of the tire is going to go in that hook area. Now, tubeless tape is designed to sort of go up in that area, and so what we like to use is a tire lever, and we go around and we kind of run the tire lever through that section where we push that tape down, making sure that we get a good seal not only on the rim bed but in the hook area. So you can run around your entire tire, getting out any air bumps. Once your tape is in place and sealed down, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut a hole for your valve to come through. What we like to do is use an X-Acto knife, and to make sure that the hole doesn't have any issues with the valve coming through, one thing that we like to do is make sure that we cut that hole round. So we start by finding where the hole is, which is just under the valve hole here. And we make a small puncture. And then we cut a good round circle. Once you have your circle cut, you can remove that piece of the tape. And if you have any rough edges, you can just clean those up to make sure that you're getting a good seal. And that is how to install tubeless tape on a FLO wheel.